poured your heart and soul into the lyrics of Divinals, and when you look at the album titles, Desperate, What a Life, it summed it up, didn't it?
Temperamental. Yeah. It kind of did, didn't it?
Did you really want to be the naughtiest, the sexiest, the most ferocious woman in Australian music, or was that just an accident?
It's funny that people say I was sexy because I thought that I really went against that. I thought I contradicted that because I'd have this school uniform and suspenders on. But then I was really aggro.
But you must have known that was sexy. You must have known that you were toying with images of sexuality just by the choice of the outfit. And the
well, probably at times I was, maybe if I was feeling too aggro, then I would go that way. Because I do that, you know, if I'm feeling one way, you know, in a performance, I will then take it to another way because I think, oh, you're going that far. I just went with whatever feeling I had.
The idea of the performer you were creating, where did she come from?
She came from everything that was around me. I had a manager that would say, loose as a goose but aggro, before I went on stage. It was a really loud band. Mark was a very loud guitar player. I was always struggling to get above the volume of the band. Mark and I had a great songwriting partnership. I don't know where it came from, I don't know why, we just did. And it just worked. I remember the first day we got together and I had those lyrics for Boys in Town, and a little bit of a melody. And then Mark just came over and we started writing that day, the very first day we met. He came over and we just were relentless after that.
Because you were an extraordinary partnership, you know, on stage and off stage.
Very close. We were very close. I know it sounds weird, but because of all the fighting, but we were also very close. And we really only did trust each other. I think that's evident. But I think when the train stopped, and of course, you know, even though he was with someone else by the time I got with Charlie, the partnership broke. And I'm sure it happens in boy bands, you know, when as well, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, with us, we had been involved, even though we denied it. And you know, I was speaking to a roadie last night that worked with Divinals for 10 years, and he said for years he didn't know. For years he didn't know. He wouldn't have known that we were together. It's hard in Australia, I think, because I think girls, to a certain degree, have to be nice and have to be virginal, and I still think that's what is expected of girls that are elevated in that role.
You've certainly carved a path that has been truly your own and had enormous impact both here and overseas, and it's been a great pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Chrissy Amphlett talking to Tracy about her new book, Pleasure and Pain.
And a pretty extraordinary life too, you know. She certainly pushed every envelope that was there to be pushed, and in lots of ways I think just the band kind of just burnt out around her and Mark, and then eventually they kind of imploded as well. It's an incredible insight into a rock and roll story, and in many ways she was without peer, you know. She was out there pretty much doing it on her own. There wasn't any other women, you know, out front of a band. Her cousin, obviously, little Patty, had sort of set a certain benchmark, but in a whole different way.
That's right, and to be the girl singer of a rock and roll band, you know, she wasn't, as you say, a sort of pop singer or a soul diva or something. It's a rock and roll band.
Well, I know